Okay, back to the Firebird after a brief break from Mother Nature. Had a big storm come through Wednesday night into Thursday, and Thursday morning about 6 o'clock, we lost power for 76 hours. So, that sucked. No power, no heat. Luckily, it was fairly warm out. The snow's already melted. Snow was pretty much melted before we got power back. Anyway, went through this, took some measurements, checked the diagonals in the hood opening, very square, so that's good. I checked the width on the front and then the width on the opening. It looks like I've got to spread my fenders out about a 1/4 inch, about an 1/8 inch on each side, so that's not too bad. One gentleman by the name of Chris Mansker, he basically pointed out that this hood tends to be about an 1/8 inch wider than the standard stock hood for some reason, which is really useful information. So I'm gonna just take a minute and work these fenders in the front now. I've got the back pretty good. I've got the back, so I've got a pretty decent gap on both sides. I'm happy with that for now. So let me get the front end widened out. So what I'm going to do the old Juby method here and scribe a line right here, push this side out 1/8. I may have to open up the holes a little on the fender, but push this side out 1/8, tighten it back down, do the same thing on the other side. The other thing I got to do first is tighten the core support, because the main brackets on those are not tight yet either, right here. So got to go through, tighten that up, then I can start moving these out 1/8 at a time. I'm not sure what's going to be required to do that, but we'll see. I've got a lot going on down here. This is tied in. I'm going to loosen these up at the very least. The bolts that go up into the core support from the bottom of the fender well. Get that spread out and see what I got to do there. So I'm going to start with that. I don't have a lot of time today because I've still been messing around with storm stuff. But I am caught up and I was able to get up here. So, hey, good. That's, lost a whole weekend, but not Sunday afternoon. So we're going to go with that. Of course, I still don't have internet, so who knows when this will get posted, but we'll do our best. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, that worked pretty perfect. I just loosened those bolts up, spread one side at a time out the 1/8 inch, and measured it against the scribe mark I put in. Worked fine. I got these little 3/16. They're made for putting decking down on a house deck, but they've got a 3/16 leg to them, which is perfect for this sort of thing. So I got my 3/16 gap perfect at the front. Gets a little tight towards the back here and also in the middle. So I'm gonna loosen up some more stuff, try to spread this side out a bit. But first I'm gonna mess with the hinges. The back of the hood wants to sit up a little bit. So I've got to, I think that means I've actually got to raise the back of the hinge up. But I'll mess around with that for a few minutes, get it so it's sitting more level, and start working the rear of the fenders to the proper width. Okay, I've been messing with this thing. I threw the hood latch in just so I could get the front of the hood to stay down and kind of center up. I also put the hood supports in. It's kind of a landing spot. Yeah, I'm messing with those back hoods, trying to get the back hinges, trying to get the rear of the hood to line up right. Up is down, down is up. I don't know. Anyway, basically, I ultimately just followed the advice of jack them all the way up and start bringing them down in the front, then the rear, and get everything to line up right. And it got okay. Now, I've got something else that's weird. Now, if you look down this gap, it gets quite wide towards the back. it's like the whole hood set to the driver's side a little bit now. My heights are okay. My body lines match pretty good. I'm a little high right here. I got to work the hood a little bit to get that out of it. And I think the tail sections could, especially that side, this tail cuffs in a little bit. I've got to work that up. But overall, the other side is actually better. And I'm still a little high. I can't quite pull it down here yet. I don't know why that is, but I'll figure it out. But other than that, body line's pretty good, but I get tight back here and I'm loose over there. So it's like the whole hood shifted to the driver's side somehow. I'm a little further back than I want to be right now. And a good way to look at that is just get a straight edge. Anything will do. Throw that in there, and you can see I got to come forward 3/16 of an inch. On this side, I'm less, an 1/8 of an inch-ish. So I think what I'm going to do is loosen the hood bolts this time instead of the fender bolts on the hinge, and just see if I can close the hood and kind of jockey it around a little bit and get it into a more likable position. It's all I can think to do at this juncture. And the hood latch, I'm pretty good right at the very front gap wise, but in the back it's gone cattywampus on me. So I'm going to mess with that next. Loosen up the hood bolts. Just get them, leave them snug. Try to slide this thing around to where I can work it, and then see if I can't get my gaps back. But I'm getting there. It just takes a little time. This is really meticulous work to try to get, and it's not scientific. You literally, tweak this, pull that, tweak this, pull that, and eventually you'll come into it. I mean, I very well may have to pull that fender out a little bit further to get so that the gap is happy. Pull that fender in a little bit. I really hate to do that again, but if I have to, I have to. But for right now, I'm just gonna try to get my nose lined up here, mess around with those hinges, just leave them a little snug, see if I can't play it over a bit. I'll bring you back. Okay, been messing with this most of the day. Most of the afternoon. I got it pretty good. I'm pretty happy with this now. I got a good 3/16 all the way. I had to kick that fender out just a hair, and this one in just a hair, but I think I'm in good shape now. So the only other thing that looks like it might need doing is I'm not 100% sure I have the right distance forward on the fenders yet, but I will get there. So anyway, that pretty much fit up the hood pretty well. Pretty happy with that now. It's not doing anything weird. It is a little tighter on that side. To get in the 3/16 shim in, you got to kind of push it in where this one kind of falls in, but anyway, it'll work. So I've got to refit the cowl now to kind of match the hood. Now that I got the hood in here, and I'm pretty happy with the body lines. Now I just got to made up that rear cowl. I mean the cowl vent, and get this sorted out. So that will be a story for another day. Anyway, that's pretty much what I had to do. Not really much more to say about that. I did get the latch in. That was pretty key to making sure everything worked in the front. Once that was in there and adjusted properly, the hood leveled out in the front. Pretty good on my heights here now. So I'm pretty happy with what I got. So anyway, this is where I'm thinking it's a little tight, right? And I can take that out of the door if I need to, but my door's a little tight back here too, so not really sure what I'm going to do there yet. I may just adjust on this one more time and push that whole fender forward just a hair on this side. And I got to try to find a good way to reference the windshield puller just to make sure they're the same windshield frame. Just make sure they're the same on both sides. Maybe I can just run a straight edge down this edge and pick up this point. But we'll see. That's where we're at. Thanks for tuning in.